Now, you were recording this.
Yeah.
What happened was, my parents, they moved to Malahide around 1939. My father took up the job as butler in Malahide Castle. For a little while, they lived down a little place down Swords Road, while the Talbots built them this house. Now, the house was built on the avenue, about halfway up the avenue from what we used to call the Swords Road end on the McAllister's garage end. Why they picked that site, I'm not sure, because it was a very remote site. When we were kids, it was great because you were out playing in the woods all the time. You never thought about things like this. But I think for my mother, she found it very remote, all right, because away from the village, and it wasn't even near the main road, really. It was a few hundred yards up. And it was in among trees. So it was quite a lonely spot, I would imagine. For us kids, it was grand. My eldest sister, Teresa, was actually born before the house was built. Margaret and myself and my younger sister, Mary, were born in the house. Well, I remember playing around there. I remember once when my Uncle Mike, that was my mother's brother, came to visit. He called down the house and he came down to us and he said, go down there to the beginning of the little walkway into the house. He said, I'll look under the bush and see, can you find anything? We went down and there was 2 big bottles of lemonade, which were a big treat for us then. And he had hid them there on his way in. Just remember that. That's one thing I remember. I also remember my father, my father was always messing with gadgets and making things. And he made this sort of film projector. It was a still film projector, and he made it himself. And I remember one time he put it, because of the lens, he put the lens up against the keyhole and shone it into the room. We didn't know what was going on. And this image starts appearing, you know. I remember that. I remember when my sister Mary was born, because the morning she was born, I remember we got a parcel from America, which was a common thing in those days. If you had relatives in the United States, they used to send over stuff. People used to love to get these lovely jackets or something different from America. Somebody said, what did Mum get? And she said, oh, she got a baby. And I was wondering, did this baby come from America? But no, obviously it hadn't. But that was how I remember the day when Mary arrived. There was a lady that lived down at the cottage, down at the lodge, Mrs. Mills. But Mrs. Mills used to often call up, and Mrs. Mills would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. She was a real talker, right? And I think my mother must have referred to her at some stage as Chatterbox, because we were all sitting in the kitchen one evening and there was a knock at the door. And I said, oh, that must be Mrs. Mills. So I said, come in, Chatterbox. And of course, my mother was mortified that we'd use a term like that, and Mrs. Mills came in. One other incident I must tell you about that happened. And I don't remember this happening, but I'm told it happened. And I was in my pram. I was having my bottle or something, and apparently a rat jumped into the pram and bit my nose. So the doctor came along, and apparently the doctor got a red hot poker, put it in the fire, got it red, and just burnt my nose.
Why?
To burn us, so if there was any germs there, they were soon killed off with the red hot poker. One incident, again, it wasn't traumatic for me, but Teresa and Margaret found an old bathtub it was stuffed up beside this little pond, and she got in the bathtub, and Teresa and the two of them started doing. She got some sort of a yoke, and she was a stick, and she was pushing herself out onto onto this little pond. And I remember, because I was watching her from the side, and she was saying, I will get you what you want, I will get you what you want. And she was pushing the old bath all over the place. The next thing, bang, and the bottom came out of the bath, and the two of them fell into the pond. They had to scramble out of it again. So, yeah. It's a thing like that, I suppose, stick in your mind, because it was so ridiculous. After we left then in 1950 to move to the new house, there was a Mrs. Collins who worked in the castle. She moved into that house. I do remember after she left or died, or not sure which happened, I think she actually died. No. Annie, there was a woman called Annie from County Clare who lived there, and she was there until right after the Talbots left and the county council, Peterborough County Council, took over. So I think I have a feeling Annie was the very last person to live in that house.